Analysis of the film Gone Girl, 2014. Plot. Without heavy spoilers, the film follows Nick Dunne, played by Ben Affleck, an ordinary man whose life turns into complete chaos when his wife, Amy, played by Rosamund Pike, mysteriously disappears on the day of their wedding anniversary. As the media turns the case into a sensationalist spectacle and the police begin their investigation, dark secrets about the couple's relationship come to light, placing Nick as the prime suspect in Amy's disappearance. The plot is brilliantly constructed, alternating perspectives and revealing shocking twists that keep the audience in a constant state of tension. Positive points. Direction by David Fincher. The director's cold, calculated, and visually impeccable style creates an atmosphere of constant mystery and unease. Performance by Rosamund Pike. The actress delivers an impressive, complex, and disturbing performance that earned her an Academy Award nomination. Her portrayal of Amy is magnetic and full of nuances. Social critique. The film is not limited to being a suspense thriller. It also works as an analysis of the manipulative power of the media, modern relationships, and the superficiality of appearances. Sharp screenplay. Adapted from Gillian Flynn's novel, who also wrote the screenplay, the story maintains the essence of the original book and deeply explores the psychology of the characters. Negative points. Slow pacing in certain moments. With a duration of almost 2.5 hours, the film can feel slow for those expecting a more straightforward and fast-paced thriller. Unlikable characters. Most characters present great moral ambiguity, which may distance viewers who prefer more traditional stories with a clear division between heroes and villains. Curiosities about the film Gone Girl, 2014. 1. Demanding director. David Fincher is known for requesting many repetitions in his scenes. In the case of Gone Girl, some takes went beyond 50 repetitions to achieve the perfect result. 2. Actress nominated for the Academy Award. Rosamund Pike received a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role as Amy, which became one of the most remarkable of her career. 3. Author as screenwriter. The screenplay was written by Gillian Flynn herself, the author of the book on which the film is based, which ensured a very faithful adaptation of the original material. 4. Altered ending. Although the film closely follows the plot of the book, David Fincher and Gillian Flynn considered changing the ending during production, but decided to keep the disturbing conclusion of the literary work. 5. Tyler Perry's debut in a serious drama. Known for his more comedic roles and the Medea franchise, Tyler Perry surprised audiences by playing attorney Tanner Bolt, receiving much praise. 6. Financial success. The film had a budget of about $61 million and grossed more than $369 million worldwide, becoming a major box office success. 7. Audience reaction. After its release, many couples joked that they were afraid to watch it together, since the film raises intense discussions about marriage, trust, and manipulation. Lessons from the film Gone Girl, 2014. 1. Appearances can be deceiving. The film shows how the image people project to the world can be very different from reality. 2. The power of manipulation. The story highlights how someone can manipulate situations, narratives, and even people when they understand how to control emotions and perceptions. 3. Complex relationships. The movie addresses how marriages and romantic relationships can be full of secrets, resentments, and unfulfilled expectations. 4. The power of the media. Gone Girl portrays how the media can shape public opinion, turning victims into villains and vice versa, simply by controlling the narrative. 5. Fragile trust. The work reinforces that trust is one of the most important pillars in a relationship and how its collapse can generate devastating consequences. 6. The dark side of human nature. The film invites the viewer to reflect on how far a person can go when they feel betrayed, used, or in search of revenge. Gone Girl, 2014, holds an 87% critic rating and an 87% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, a Metacritic score of 79 out of 100, and earned a B grade from CinemaScore. Now here's our opinion.
This film is fascinating because it works with a narrative of psychological and media manipulation. From the beginning, we are led to suspect the husband. Did he really commit a crime against his wife? On the other hand, we also wonder, is the wife truly the victim in this story? The plot plays with this duality until it reveals that, in fact, the wife is an extremely cold and calculating psychopath. What caught my attention the most is the hidden lesson in the film, which many people might not have noticed. Evil women, when they are villains, do not simply seek physical dominance or brute power, as male characters usually do. They manipulate the media. And this is exactly what happens here. The wife not only dominates her husband, but she also controls public opinion, turning him into the villain of the story. She presents herself as the victim, manipulates society in her favor, and destroys his reputation. Historically, if you look at older films, the great female villains use the same strategy, manipulating social perception and public narrative. Nowadays, many woke scripts try to portray female villains as if they seek the same kind of power as men: money, strength, territorial dominance. But this does not match the classic hallmark of female villains. This film restores that essence: female evil exercised through media and societal manipulation, not through brute force. In the plot, the husband's only real mistake was infidelity. He was unhappy in the marriage, already suspicious of his wife's cold behavior, and became involved with another woman. The problem is that he did this while still married, giving the psychopath ammunition to use him as a piece in her manipulative game. The clear recommendation here is, if your marriage is not going well, separate before starting another relationship. Cheating is always a mistake because it opens the door to even worse consequences. Now, bringing this to real life, the film made me reflect on another point. If evil women use manipulation as a weapon, then in societies with very strong feminist laws, this manipulation can become even more dangerous. This is precisely the case in Brazil, the country where I live. Here, laws that should protect everyone often end up favoring women. We live in a system that, in practice, is misandrist. It is often enough for a woman to make an accusation for a man to be imprisoned, sometimes without concrete evidence, and only afterward does the investigation occur. This context creates a sense of insecurity for men. For example, I have completely given up the idea of getting married in Brazil. The risk of suffering a false accusation is too high. The film portrays a villain who manipulates the media to destroy her husband. But in real life, in my country, manipulation can happen even more easily because the legal system already automatically favors the woman's version of events. In short, the main lesson from this film is twofold. One, it clearly shows how evil women exercise their malice through media manipulation rather than through direct physical power. And two, it highlights a real-life concern, especially in countries like Brazil, where misandrist laws make men vulnerable to false accusations. In the end, the movie is more than a psychological thriller. It is almost a warning about how manipulation can be a powerful weapon, and in already biased societies, even more dangerous. Gone Girl, 2014 is an intense, elegant, and extremely intelligent psychological thriller that combines mystery, social critique, and marital drama. More than just discovering who is guilty, the film provokes reflections on how appearances can deceive and how certain relationships hide a dark, uncomfortable, and often disturbing side. That's all for now. If everything goes well, see you in the next video. Until then.